For the benefit of those with flash photography, we are live with the 3 Count podcast. Welcome in. I'm your host, Dylan Chambers, alongside Benny Hobden. And it's that time of year again. It's time for the biggest party of the summer or our winter, with SummerSlam just days away. Benny, to take a quote from one of your boys, are you ready?
How are you, Dill? Hello, everybody. What's going on, mate?
Yeah, just trying to enjoy lockdown life still. You know, we can't get in the studio yet, which I'm looking forward to, but thank goodness we got SummerSlam coming on Sunday.
Yeah, big one. Look forward to it. It's going to be a big card too. I'd say it's probably going to go for over 4 hours.
It will. It will be a big card. And we're here to take you through all the matches, from predictions to betting odds, and we'll get you ready for Sunday morning. We're going to have a little bit of fun later in the show. We're going to draft a dream SummerSlam card. So stay tuned for that. Now, before we get into the huge card, Benny, what's been going on in the dirt sheets?
Mate, a couple of little things. Royal Rumble, there's talk it's going to be moved to February, just so that they can put in their New Year's Day pay-per-view. So that'll take up January. I'm not a fan, personally. Rumble's January to me. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, that's my favorite pay-per-view of the year. So it'll be a bit frustrating, but I mean, where will that lead WrestleMania? How will that push that back further? Or I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Interesting to see. Yeah, it's always been January. This would be the first time they've ever moved it.
Yeah. What else we got? We got Keith Lee. Apparently, he's been taken off TV. He's going to get a massive push. He's been getting a lot of squash matches on off TV. So there's talk he's going to get a bit of a push, and he's now favourite for the Rumble.
Interesting.
So that will, whether that happens or not. A little AEW news: Sting's first match in 20 years on TNT. Anyway, the last match was against Flair on the final Nitro 20 years ago. So he'll be teaming up with Darby Allin against 2.0 in a tag team match.
That was a good match. That was on today. And
today, yeah.
Sting finished it off. He put both members of 2.0 in the Scorpion Deathlock.
Deathdrap, I did see that, yeah.
Scorpion Deathlock, and they both tapped out at the same time.
Oh, I only seen the Deathdrap. I didn't see the double Scorpion Deathlock.
Scorpion Deathlock, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I only flicked through the results. So interesting. And then also AEW, your boy, you're our CM Punk truther, as they call them, put a little cryptic tweet out. Would you like to elaborate on that, Dill?
So I believe he wrote 05, then 11, then 21. Now
21, yeah.
05 was the summer of Punk in Ring of Honor. 11 was the summer of Punk in WWE, and 21, could 2021 be the summer of Punk in AEW? We will find out hopefully tomorrow.
You're excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Is that why we're going with Summer of Cena as well, just to try and play off it?
I'm sure it is.
Because let's not forget that Cena the other day, what did he say in his little promo? I'm going to run straight out. As I jump the rails, I might even blow you a little kiss.
Yeah.
A little stab at Cena, stab at CM Punk.
And then tweeted a photo of Punk giving that kiss.
The exact same photo, yeah. I'm surprised he didn't Photoshop his head on it, to be fair. What else have we got? A couple of the next pay-per-views: Extreme Rules, September 27th here. And then Survivor Series, November 21 at the Barclays Center.
Yeah, so that'll be a big one.
Little rumor around that one?
Yeah, reportedly The Rock is rumored to be coming back for it. That will be his 25th anniversary of his debut.
Oh, that blue little outfit with the tassels. Old Rocky Maivia.
So
food out of the building.
That could be very interesting. The only other thing I've got, Benny, is Heels debuted last Sunday.
It was good.
New episode will be dropping every Sunday at 4 p.m. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of like wrestling meets Friday Night Lights for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoyed it. Funnily enough, Stephen Amell we're going to talk about it later, a couple of favourite moments of ours. Stephen Amell made my list, but I culled him at the end because his match was at SummerSlam with Neville. He almost got a start, but I've culled him. But yeah, it was good. I thought it was a good episode.
They certainly left us with a nice cliffhanger at the end.
Yeah, so. Massive cliffhanger at the end. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. It almost felt like a season finale on the first episode, so that was good.
Yeah, no, that was really good. That's all I've got.
Yeah. Let's get into the card, I reckon, Dill.
Well, okay. Well, let's go a little bit through SummerSlam history first before we jump into the card. Very first SummerSlam was 1988 from Madison Square Garden. First card featured Ultimate Warrior ending the longest IC title reign in WWE history against the Honky Tonk Man. Headlined by the Mega Powers of Hogan and Savage taking on the Mega Bucks of Andre the Giant and Ted DiBiase. Jesse Ventura, special guest referee. And the match was helped end by Miss Elizabeth taking her skirt off.
Yeah, nuding up.
Yeah, which I have learned that Randy Savage did not okay before it happened.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
So this year's SummerSlam will be the 34th edition of SummerSlam. One of the best records of SummerSlam is Hulk Hogan. He's 6-0. The record for the most matches is The Undertaker. He has 16, though Orton is set to tie that mark this year, while Cena will see his 15th SummerSlam match this year.
Not a great record there, though.
No record there. There may well be one. We will see.
Well, no, I meant his record at SummerSlam, Cena's.
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible.
It's a terrible record. Cena's got a pretty bad record in general.
At massive pay-per-views.
Yeah, which is, I guess it's kind of good. He's putting people over. Largest SummerSlam crowd, Benny. We touched on it last week in our retro recap. It was the 1992 SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium with over 80,000 people.
Yeah, outdoor stadium, the first one. Of course, it was going to be a big crowd. Yeah. And then they ran with it from there, like just going crazy, I guess.
So speaking of records, there's been a few firsts and records set at SummerSlam. Very first TLC match was at SummerSlam in 2000, while in 2004, Randy Orton became the youngest ever World Heavyweight Champion at the ripe old age of 24. Now, we were talking a little bit off air before about Big E. Now, he's got the Money in the Bank contract. The Money in the Bank contract has been cashed in twice at SummerSlam, once by Alberto Del Rio and once by Randy Orton, both of them winning the title. You can also note that Big E is now paying $2 to cash in at SummerSlam.
Yeah, let's not forget Alberto's cash in. That was wasn't that my boy Big Sexy Kevin Nash coming out?
It was. He took out
on CM Punk.
Took out Punk and Alberto Del Rio reaped the benefits.
Wasn't that a good little storyline they did? Oh, Kevin Nash, you versus me again, our boys against each other. But I mean, he failed abysmally again.
Yeah,
typical Nash.
Now, an interesting thing with Big E is he has been doing media for SummerSlam, but is not on the card.
Yeah, right.
Take from that what you will.
Well, you've stolen my thunder from later on anyway by saying that. So, I mean, okay, let's move on.
So, Benny, well, let's get down to it. What are your favorite SummerSlam moments?
Favorite SummerSlam moments? All right, let me just bring them up here. Okay, so it was a big list, as I'm sure you had a big list as well, Dill. There's a lot to go through. But I've sort of narrowed mine down. My first one, when Shane McMahon fell off the side of the staging in 2000, Steve Blackman was the match. He was hitting him with the kendo stick. And as you're watching it, it's like Shane's not sure if he wants to go yet or not. And then Blackman hits him again and he, all right, I'll go this time. And he sort of, that was an epic bump though.
Yeah.
Another one of mine, which was sort of shocking really, was the 2016 finish between Brock and Randy. Just he opened him up hard style with those elbows, those vicious elbows.
That was brutal.
And like everybody was just like all the dirt sheets, everybody online, like Twitter blew up. Like everyone was like, what is going on? This can't be real. Like Brock's lost the plot. What's going on? But it turned out that's how it was meant to finish. So
it was.
Randy came out and backed him up and everything. So that was interesting.
Yeah, apparently with a lot of Brock's storylines and matches, Vince liked to hold everything close to the chest and didn't tell anyone in the back what was going on, which led to Jericho confronting Brock Lesnar after the match.
Yeah.
Thinking that it was not part of the script.
There you go. Yeah, it was brutal though. I know we use that word a lot on this pod here, Dill, but brutal was the word for that. Like it wasn't pretty to watch. And then my last one, I don't know why, I remember the promo package they put together, the vignette they put together, the promo package behind this. But Ray versus Eddie for Dominic. Oh, there it is. I'm your puppy. Didn't even notice. And there you go. But yeah, when they had the ladder match for Dominic, as saying he was his dad, and like, it was probably the first time we ever seen Vicky at one stage. She was getting involved, and
yeah,
it was like, I think the build up was better than the match. The ending was a bit, but just as a whole moment and whatever else, I thought that was really good.
It was a very interesting storyline, that one.
Yeah.
For me, my top moment is Shawn Michaels' return in 2002. I thought I'd never see him again. He was my favorite. He was a lot of people's favorites. And to see him come back, and he had that match with Triple H, and it was, with the music, and it was just like so much stuff came flooding back for that moment.
Well, how long had he been? He'd been out for what, 3-4 years at the time?
Even longer than that.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, in the ring, yeah, but like off TV, probably.
Off TV, yeah, it was about 3 or 4 years. I think he was commissioner for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my top favorite moment. TLC is up there too. What an incredible match.
I see what you're doing here, Dylan. I see what you're doing here.
Absolutely incredible. I'm trying to get in your head for our draft later in the episode, and then
all it does is prove me right.
Shawn Michaels appears on my list again in the Razor Ramon ladder match, so that was one of my moments. But I'm going to give an honorable mention here to Edge versus Matt Hardy in 2005.
Oh, was that the leader feud?
That was the leader feud, and it was such a stiff match, and you could tell these guys were not big fans of each other.
They did not like each other.
In real life, Lita did leave Matt for Edge. So yeah, you could really feel that one. So that was an honorable mention for me.
Fair point.
Now, Benny, before we get into the card, I've got something I've got to get off my chest. I'm going to get a promo on, if that's all right with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to prepare yourselves. As he said at the beginning, are you ready?
Are you ready? Now, I'm going to call out another supposed WWE vodcast, which is getting an Ultimate Warrior style push from Fox Sports Main Event and my beloved KO Sports. But their content also compares to Warrior's in-ring ability. Look, it's hosted by a news shock jock and a rugby league caller out of a studio built for someone else. They wouldn't know an Adam Cole from a Kenny Omega, to be honest. Now, if you want a generic, fair-weather wrestling fan vodcast where entertainment is considered bragging about what events you've been to, then that vodcast is for you. If you want smug political references and two mid-40-year-olds making jokes about using the phrase three-way instead of triple threat, then that vodcast is for you. If you think wearing generic Stone Cold t-shirts make you seem knowledgeable about the business, then that vodcast is for you. If you want a pay-per-view preview, which only mentions 3 out of the 10 matches on the card, then that vodcast is for you. If you want to hear 2 cable TV personalities attempt to leverage a vodcast into getting an all-expenses-paid trip to WrestleMania, then that vodcast is for you. Now, me and Benny here, we're the little guys. We're the Bryan Danielsons, the CM Punks of the world. We're fighting to grab that brass ring, while others get undeserved pushes because they have pulled backstage. Now, it may sound a little bit like sour grapes, and to be honest, it is a little bit.
Little bit.
But I'm calling them out. They know who they are, and if they want to reply, I'm going to invite them to come onto the 3 Count podcast and do it to my face. That's unless they're scared or they don't do appearances without a fee. Now, I'm sure they don't listen to anything that isn't produced by Conrad Thompson. So please hit them up on socials and make sure that my call out gets heard. Now, I won't mention them by name. You'll need to figure it out yourself. But there you go. The call out has been made.
The best way to describe them, I think, is like us on, if you ordered Wish. If you ordered us on Wish, that's what you get. Seriously. I might look like one of them. To be fair, you probably, if you shaved, you probably would too, you know. You're the skinny one, I'm the fat one, if that helps at all. But like,
to pull out a term used by Edge, they're a 3 Count podcast light.
Yeah, perfect example.
There you go. All right, I've got that off my chest, Benny. Let's get into the card.
So yeah, now if you really want to hear a proper SummerSlam preview,
Yeah, we're going to talk about all the matches. So
tune
to
in.
start with, we've got the Raw Tag Team Championship. We've got AJ Styles and Omos against RK Bro. Now, Benny, the lead up to RK Bro has been great. From Orton going missing and Riddle fighting without him, but delivering RKOs. Orton's comeback promo about how there is no RK Bro. Riddle getting RKO'd. And then in the latest Raw, Orton telling him that he's won his respect and he even gave him a hug. It's what we've been clamoring for.
It's what you've been clamoring for, not us. Don't put me in the same little situation as you, mate, all right? When he got RKO'd last week, that was the best day of my life. I was like, it's done. It's over. We're happy now. And no. Or as you'd like to say, no.
Yeah. So the odds are RK Bro is paying $1.25 while AJ and Omos are $3.40. What do you think happens?
I think you need to gamble responsibly. And RK Bro all the way will win. That's my thoughts. They will take they won't just win, they'll take the titles as well. It'll be a clean victory.
Yeah, I think so too, especially if they're kicking off the show, which I'm led to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to win the titles.
And Omos has to eat the pin, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That way AJ can move on. Or not necessarily move on, but I mean, it doesn't hurt AJ for anything that he can do after that.
Well, speaking of, what do you think happens to both teams after this?
RK Bro will do what Randy's done quite a bit. He always teams up with somebody and they have their little run, and then obviously they'll feud. I don't know where it'll happen, whether it'll go through at least one or two Survivor Series, maybe. I think they'll be on the same team for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll feud.
I think it's a little ways away. I think they're going to hold on to the titles for a while, and we're just going to get lots of comedy gold.
Yeah, that's fair.
For me, I actually think it's going to be AJ and Omos that'll break up first. They're going to be a little thorn in RK Bro's side for a little while and then feud with each other. If anyone can get a good match out of Omos, it's AJ Styles.
Oh, he's so stiff. He's so awkward. I can't warm to him at all.
Yeah. Next, we move into a singles match, Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie with Dewdrop. We've seen plenty of Eva and Dewdrop dropping into Alexa's playground. Few antics from Lily, freaking out Dewdrop. There's also been a bit of tension between Dewdrop and Eva Marie, with Eva slapping her a few times. How do you think this one goes, Benny?
Well, that's the whole thing with the problems going on between those two. I think they're trying to set it up like Dewdrop's going to turn on Eva, but I think that might happen during the match. Who knows? I've been saying this for months now with these whole Alexa Bliss matches. What's going to be the shenanigans that happens? What's like, does she turn into somebody else? Does she turn Dewdrop into somebody else? It's in front of a live crowd, so they can't do those weird things that they were doing during lockdown, you know? So, I mean, I think they might try and do the possess thing a little bit, and then it'll look like she's going to turn on her, but then I think Dewdrop will take out Alexa, and I think Eva Marie will actually get the victory.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, get your money out there, Benny, because Eva is paying $3.50 for the win, while Bliss is $1.25. Now, I think
it makes sense that Bliss wins. I'm just trying to mix it up, you know?
Mix it up. I think Bliss is going to win. I think Schmozzy is going to happen with Lily and Dewdrop. I think we see Dewdrop turning on Eva, but I don't think it'll be by her own choice.
Yeah, so we're going down the same wavelength. I've just taken it a little bit further, and then
you have. What's next for both of these girls?
Who knows? It's really tough at the moment, considering where Alexa goes. Alexa's probably going to bring out. Is she going to turn into like a Fiend character? Is she going to drop some new character on us? Is she going to turn back to normal? Is she going to continue on? There's so much weird stuff going on with Alexa that you just can never tell. It keeps us entertained, though.
For me, I've seen enough of this Alexa Eva.
Really? Oh, definitely between the two of them. Yeah, that's why I didn't mention Eva. That's why I didn't mention her.
What could be interesting, though, is if she does do something like add Dewdrop to her stable and
Creates her own little.
That could make for
Bliss
something
stable.
interesting. You know, she could start taking on some of those bigger competitors on Raw.
But imagine, well, she's already possessed Nia Jax in the past. Imagine she added Nia Jax and Dewdrop behind her.
Yeah.
Well,
that'd be a pretty impressive stable, and
yeah, exactly.
They might put her back in the Raw Women's Title picture.
Yeah, there's a chance there.
As for Eva Marie, like, unless she impresses in the ring, I think it's going to be kind of back to pre-shows and not getting too much airtime.
What does she have on Vince though? Does she have like some incriminating photos or what? Like
she must do.
We hear all of these great talent, like I mentioned in the recap the other day, all this great talent that's been dropped, and then we've got Eva Marie.
Yeah.
Like I know that the guys out there that are from 18 to 50 love looking at her. Like that's all well and good, but I mean, it's especially with the internet these days and all the smart marks and everything. It's just she's going to get booed out of the building every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's not a good look. So hopefully we see less of Eva Marie, unless she surprises us in the pay-per-view. We will see.
But yeah, her talent's just not there, so it's not going to happen.
No, I don't think so. Next, we move on to I've got Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal with Veer and Shanky barred from ringside. This has been brewing since Jinder cost McIntyre the Money in the Bank match. Drew's been using Angela, his sword, to scare Veer and Shanky, and he destroyed Jinder's bike. McIntyre paying $1.17 for this one, whereas Mahal's paying $4.33. What do you think?
Drew's $1.01, mate. $1.01. Whether he wins clean or he wins because of disqualification, because there's no way Veer and Shanky aren't going to come out. I know they're barred, but there's something dodgy going to happen.
Here's what I think. I think Jinder's getting the win.
Oh, you're going to say, what, the referee's going to go down, Veer and Shanky going to come out, bash Drew.
There's going to be something schmozzy going down, but I think the feud has legs, and I think we might even end up seeing at some point another Punjabi prison match.
Yeah, look, my problem is Drew had a handicap match against both of them and dominated. How does Jinder beat Drew when he can beat both of the other two?
Well, only Veer and Shanky are barred from ringside.
Oh, great Khali. What is WWE going back to India this month, or what?
Or maybe
Bollywood boys.
Jinder finds a way to use Angela. I'm not too sure what goes
on. All right.
But I mean, for me, where else?
Rolling the dice.
Where else can Drew go after this except continue to feud with Jinder? He can't have a shot at the title until Lashley loses it, if that happens. So I think they might keep this feud going until something opens up or the draft happens.
Yeah, well, I think he goes back into the title picture, and we'll explain more of that later on.
Okay. Next up, we have the United States Championship on the line with Sheamus taking on Damien Priest. Sheamus had a bit of an uneventful title run so far. He's had rivalries with Humberto Carrillo and Ricochet, which included him breaking his nose, so he wears a face shield. And Priest has gotten the best of Sheamus in the past few weeks, including a one-on-one match where he removed the face shield. Priest is paying $1.40, Sheamus $2.70.
Yeah, odds make sense to me.
I think Priest is going over. It's in Vegas. That's his hometown. Sheamus's run has been uninteresting. It's time to do something else with the belt.
Well, funnily enough, Vince doesn't usually like to give characters their a win in their hometown. So, I mean, that might throw a little spanner in the works. Obviously, your boys are going to be around. Morrison and Miz are going to be in there somewhere. That's going to make it a bit of a schmoz. So I still think Priest wins. I think he overcomes the odds and he still gets the victory.
Yeah, I think he's going to get the victory. And I think Vince might be rewarding him for his Bad Bunny match, a title win in his hometown. That's a pretty big reward. I hope the US title lifts him up rather than weighing him down, which it has done to some people.
It's done that for a while, to be honest.
But I think Miz is then going to come back in and maybe we'll have a few title matches there.
Well, he can't walk again now, so I mean,
apparently. And speaking of the Miz, we could be possibly building to a Miz Morrison rivalry, which would be interesting too.
There was a little something going on the other day there. So
little nuggets happening there. we move on now to Edge and Seth Rollins. A match 7 years in the making when Rollins almost gave an Edge a stomp on the Money in the Bank briefcase. Rollins' MO has been that if he can't have a shot at the Universal title, then Edge can't either. But really the crux of this rivalry was Edge calling Rollins Edge Light. The two have had very similar careers. Edge did blaze the trail, but I really liked Rollins' counter, which was he's done everything that Edge has done, but he's done it better. And he kind of sold me a little bit on that too.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Now, Edge is paying $1.33. Rollins is paying $3. What do you think, man?
Man, I'm going to load up on Rollins there, I think. Responsibly, of course. I think Rollins gets the win.
I have Rollins as well. I think it's going to be a barn burner of the match. But,
it has the potential to steal the whole show.
Yeah.
Of course. Like, I know personally, like, both you and I will watch that match like that'll be the one that you're sitting right on the edge of your seat watching, you know what I mean? Like, other matches are great, but that'll be the one match on the card where I'm like, fully enthralled in, like, you know, the missus can't even talk to me over my ear or nothing like that. Like, I am in and that's it. You know what I mean?
It is going to be incredible. And yeah, like I said, I think Rollins wins because it does more for him than it does for Edge.
The only thing is that Edge has he hasn't eaten a lot of pins, but I mean, he hasn't won that much either. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So Rollins had the win over Cesaro, and then, you know, he's sort of just been back and forth. It's annoying that they're both sort of not winning at the moment. So one of them has to win.
It also makes me think too, because Edge has one of these contracts where he's only got a certain number of matches, right? So
yeah.
There's only so much you can do with him. And I think this win will vault Rollins into the title picture. And I think he does deserve one. I think Edge will help him get there. So I think we maybe see a Rollins Reigns feud coming up. As for Edge, I think he might go off TV again for a little while and come back when they need him. Yeah,
okay. That sort of makes sense, I guess. I think Cena's little promo the other day with Reigns as well, when he mentioned Rollins and he mentioned Dean Ambrose, how he's like, you squashed him and you kicked him out of the company pretty much. So that, like, Rollins could work with that down the track. Absolutely. To come back at Reigns and sort of be like, even John Cena knew, and John Cena's like a hard part-timer, you know what I mean? And I just beat a part-timer, and like that kind of, there's a promo there for sure that Rollins would absolutely kill.
Absolutely. The king of drip. And then maybe Edge pops up once Rollins has the title again.
Mania? Too far away. Not far enough.
We'll see. Next,
could be a year in the making. SummerSlam next year, Rollins has got the title.
There you go.
Hey. How long is Edge going to hang around for, though?
Next on the card, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. After Blair won the title from Banks at WrestleMania, Sasha disappeared, returned a few weeks ago to turn on Bianca. We then saw a contract signing, which led to Sasha, Carmella, and Zelina Vega all attacking Belair and leaving her lying, while Sasha stood tall with the belt. Now, Bianca Belair's paying $1.52, Sasha Banks $2.35. So this is probably the closest one we've seen.
Closer, yeah.
I think Belair's going over. I think Sasha will get the title back from her, but I don't think it'll be at SummerSlam.
No, yeah, I agree. I think Belair's going over as well. The funny thing for me is just Sasha's the new Big Show. She just switches back and forth. Like, she comes out, she saves Bianca, and then bang, heel turn. Got to get that title back. And then, 3 weeks' time, she could be a babyface again. You know what I mean? So
Bayley will come back, face turn. Yeah.
And but they'll both be face turns, and Bianca and Belair will be still a face but look like a heel. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's hard to keep up. I think Belair goes over. Where do you think they go from here, though, with the girls? I think it continues personally.
Yeah, I think both of them just going to continue with each other. When Bayley comes back, maybe they insert it in. We'll have a nice three-way match. Like,
what about is there anybody else that can
say? Sorry.
So what was that?
Triple threat match, I should say. Sorry, because we're not that other podcast.
You can't say it's we especially with females involved, mate. Who is there any chance of somebody coming back, inserting themselves in the picture here with this match? Still too soon?
So. I mean, I know Becky Lynch is rumored to be almost ready to come back, but Yeah, I don't think so yet. I think they'll give these two girls another great just singles match together.
Fair enough.
Next on the card, we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship between the Usos and Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the Mysterios first shared a SummerSlam ring in 2005 when Rey defeated Eddie to win custody of Dominic. Whole different kettle of fish now, 16 years later, as they face the Usos. Rey's been kind of having a bit of a coaching role with Dominic. Both sides have used some sneaky pins to get wins since the Usos took the titles off them at Money in the Bank. Usos paying $1.20, Mysterio's $4. I've got the Usos winning this one.
I've got the Usos winning as well. The one thing I want to see out of this match is I want Dominic to come out with the bleach blonde hair that he had from 2005. That would be gold. Just, you remember it? Do you remember?
I do remember it.
Inside, just like, oh, Daddy. Like, if he comes out with that blonde hair, I will lose my shit. That would be the ultimate. I will mark out over that for sure.
that would be good to see.
I think this has just been going on for a bit too long now. I think the Usos win. And I think the Mysterios have to something's going to happen, and it's going to sort of cause a bit of an issue in the Mysterio ranks, and they need to move on and go to something else now.
I agree. I think it's time for some new challenges for the Usos. Street Profits.
Yeah, I've been saying that for ages, especially if you insert Naomi into the women's title.
Yeah.
Because then you got the Street Profits, and then Naomi could join the Bloodline. They've got Blair over there, Naomi over here with the Usos. That could be, and there's a Survivor Series match almost in that a little bit as well.
Very true.
I think that'd be not too bad. And that could be further down the way, but I mean, that's just something I'm throwing out there.
We haven't seen Naomi since the brand switch, so maybe they are saving up for something like that. As for the Mysterios, I think they keep going for a while as a tag team, but surely I don't know if he could pull it off, but I think a Dominic heel turn would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Rey could pull it off.
I think the Rey heel turn would be better.
I don't think he can pull it off, though.
No, exactly. That's why if he does, it'll be outstanding. It'll be amazing. Like, nobody will see that coming. Turning on your own son.
That's true.
What about if he comes out and goes, "You were actually Eddie's"? Put your shirt up. He just goes, "Eddie was your puppy." Like, no, that's too far. But I mean, God rest your soul, Eddie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's got to be something.
A heel turn by one of them would be great. It'd be great to see them in the ring together, taking on each other in a one-on-one match. Now we move on to the WWE Championship match. We have Bobby Lashley against Goldberg. Now, Benny, this will be the second oldest WWE title match ever, with a combined age of 99 years.
Wow.
Goldberg is 54, Lashley is 45. Now, they're only eclipsed by the oldest match in 2002, which was Flair and Hogan for Hogan's Undisputed Championship, which had a combined age of 101. Flair was 53, Hogan 48. So
Flair was younger than what Goldberg is now.
Yes, he was a year younger.
Yet he looked about 70 back then. It's so hard. Like, think about growing up, right? I used to look at people like Hogan and Flair and Macho like they were like in their 60s when they were at their prime, you know what I mean? Like, and they were called old back then. So, like, it's just so weird that
Flair thinks he's going to wrestle again. So
I've heard that. But like the people in their prime these days, like people, well, not prime, but like people like Edge, if he didn't get injured and have to sit out for so long, he would have been in his prime, in his 40s, like, and even Lashley is the champion now at 45. Like,
I mean, you think about pro sports, and they bring these guys in earlier and earlier. Like, NBA can get in there, you're 18, you need a few years of college before NFL. But when you think about how Randy's the youngest to be the champion, he was
24. Yeah.
Like, these guys don't hear their straps till like their 30s.
Yeah. Well, Batista didn't come in until he was in his 30s. So, and he went on to have a great career.
So, yeah. The older the better. Lashley at 45 kind of surprised me. He looks incredible.
Yeah. Well, except for like, if you compare him to our bodies, he makes sense.
Pretty close.
He does look older.
So Goldberg came out to challenge Lashley after he destroyed Kofi at Money in the Bank. been a bit of back and forth. Goldberg speared MVP when MVP got in his son's face. Then he speared Lashley the following week after he did a passionate for Goldberg promo about wanting to show his son who Goldberg is. And we got the odds, Lashley $1.24, Goldberg $3.60.
What do you think?
Mate, I got Lashley going over. Goldberg has one match left on his contract after this one. Usually when Goldberg comes back, they put the strap on him, right?
Yeah.
I think they're going to buck the trend this time. However, I will say this, if Goldberg does manage to win, he won't be leaving the arena with the title.
See, I'm the other way. I think, just quickly as well, that talk about transformations. His son, from when he came back to now, that kid's huge.
Yeah.
You can tell Goldberg's his father. I didn't realize he still had another match left. I thought this was his last match. So it's sort of, now you've thrown me, I'm a bit skewed, but I think Lashley or Goldberg don't win. So there's going to be something go on. Like Lashley will hit the spear, Goldberg will hit the spear after quite a few big moves. MVP gets involved, and then as you talked about before, we get a cash in.
Big E cash in. Benny's picking it.
Yeah.
Goldberg against Lashley. So with the one match that Goldberg has left, I know they could put the strap on him and then give him a match against someone, but I feel like they're going to save it up for like one of the Saudi shows.
Makes sense. Well, but the thing is as well, Big E grew up and Goldberg was his favorite of all time favorites. So, I mean, imagine if Goldberg spears Lashley, whatever happens, Big E comes out and then pins Goldberg, cashes in, pins Goldberg. So neither of them win, but Big E wins it. Yeah. And then Goldberg fights Big E for the title. I don't know. Has he been good enough to get that push? I don't know. Just throwing stuff out there, mate. I want to
it could happen. $2.
WWE need to really roll the dice and do something different. You know what I mean? Like the way AEW is going at the moment, with all of their signings, with all the stuff they're doing, it's just so much. It's interesting. It's fresh.
There is getting off track and back onto AEW. They had a match today, which was Jericho against MJF in his fifth and final trial of Jericho, and he wasn't allowed to use his entrance music or his finishing move, but he came out to silence, and the entire crowd sung the entire song. It was incredible.
Yes. How good was it? Like, they didn't miss a beat either. Like, he got in the ring and he was just walking around looking at the crowd, just going, "This is amazing."
Yeah, it was a really good moment. Anyway, I digress. So
let's go back.
So my pick is for Lashley to win the title. No Big E cash in, but he does need a new challenger. Adam Cole, baby.
Oh.
They had to dangle something pretty sweet in front of Adam Cole to get him to
stay. As long as he stays. As I love Adam Cole, but I just feel like Big E, bloody Lashley is just too big for him.
He might get squashed by Lashley.
Yeah, and that's such a Vince thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't want him to come in and just get squashed like that. That'd be devastating.
Okay.
I think Adam, just quickly on Adam Cole, you got Cole and Shinsuke. Shinsuke's got the Intercontinental title at the moment. Like,
and we don't have a Shinsuke match at SummerSlam at the moment.
Like, first the night after. Oh no, because it's a SmackDown title. But I mean,
I guess we'll probably find something out.
Well, we've got Takeover after it. See what happens there. Obviously, we know who's going over there. But
yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to SummerSlam.
Back to SummerSlam. We next up have the Raw Women's Championship Triple Threat match. Nikki ASH, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. After using her Money in the Bank to cash in on Charlotte a few weeks ago, Nikki ASH has beaten Charlotte in no holds barred match, but lost to Rhea Ripley last week. Then the two brawled with Charlotte after the match. Now Charlotte is 4-0 at SummerSlam, so she got a good record there. The odds are Nikki is paying $1.80, Flair $2.40, Ripley a whopping $6.
Charlotte can steal a little leaf out of Booker T's book, and she can become a 5-time SummerSlam winner, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're just going to give it. They're going for we talked about this the other day. They're going for the Ric Flair record. Charlotte's going to take that, especially now that Flair's not there. They're going to keep just doing it just to keep the name going and that kind of stuff. And
will it be the Ric Flair record still after SummerSlam? We'll find out.
Well, that's the thing. Because he's done a runner now, they can try and give it to Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. Look, I think Nikki's going to win it. I think we're not done with this Nikki ASH ball. I think it's still rolling. But I do think Charlotte will take the title off Nikki at some point, maybe leading into a Becky Lynch return. But for now, I think Charlotte and Nikki are going to battle. Though it is interesting where they'll insert maybe Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler in the picture.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Rhea might go back to a little feud with Alexa or something like that, and then they could fight to see who gets a chance to go up to the main title shot.
Yeah, nice. That would be pretty good. So yes, Nikki ASH retains for me, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, well, she's selling all that merch. She's like the young girls love her.
Yeah, I haven't bought any, but it's probably not my demographic.
Us middle-aged guys don't like it at all, but I mean, well, we move on.
We move on. We have the main event, the Universal Championship, Roman Reigns and John Cena. Now, to begin with, Cena came out, requested a title match. Reigns denied it, gave it to Finn Balor. When the contract signing was happened, Baron Corbin came out to try and steal the contract. Then he was taken out by Cena, who signed it. And despite the obviousness of someone who isn't on the contract signing it, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville gave him the match for SummerSlam. Now, there's been some pretty good promos in the lead up to it, as you can expect, from Reigns commenting that Cena's wrestling's version of the missionary position.
Every night.
As we mentioned before, Cena teasing a CM Punk like walkout and blowing a kiss. Reigns referencing Nikki Bella leaving Cena. Cena saying that all he needs is a 1, 2, 3 count to top Ric Flair's record.
Geez, he hammered that home as well, didn't he, though? He goes, all I need is 1, 2. It just got too much by the end of it, you know what I mean?
It did. I got the point. He
did start the promo with, you come out here with those teeth that look like bars of soap. I thought that was a pretty good call as well.
That was the best shot of the whole promo.
Cena was at his best. He was like back to his best there. I was loving that. You know what I mean? Like, that was good.
It'll be interesting to see what happens at the go home show. But for now, Reigns is paying $1.20, Cena $4.
Reigns wins.
Yeah.
You agree?
I have Reigns winning. Cena's back for a good time, not a long time. Though winning would give him the record, I don't think that feels like a WrestleMania moment for me. Reigns for me.
Yeah, I agree. And, where do they go?
I think it's time for a new challenger for Reigns, and I think it's time for that Rollins-Reigns rivalry that I spoke about, and Cena will go back to whatever movie he's about to start shooting.
You don't think Cena's going to be there? He's here for this one-off and then he's gone?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's got too much to do. He's got a movie which starts filming in a few weeks.
Yeah, right. What about, just throwing it out there, it's 2 months away. What about we've got, at Survivor Series, Battle of Hollywood, Team Cena versus Team Rock?
I can get on board with that.
Can we get obviously one of them's going to be a heel team, so I don't know which one's going to be, because Miz is going to try and get onto whichever one of those teams as well.
Well, can we get heel Rock back for the Bloodline?
Oh, does he come out tomorrow night?
Juicy. That would
be. Jeez, look at that. We've just called Vince. Hang on. It's not tomorrow night. It's in a couple of days. Let me call Vince and I'll make it happen. You know what I mean?
All right. So that is our preview for SummerSlam, Benny. Now we get into the fun part. We're going to have our dream SummerSlam card draft. Now we're going to be drafting 5 classic SummerSlam matches each, trying to create the best dream card. We're going to put these up on socials, and you can tell us whose card you think is better. Now, we've got some stipulations. You cannot draft the same matches, obviously. The order you draft in doesn't necessarily have to be the order of your card. You cannot draft a superstar more than once. And you need to include a tag team, a women's match, and a world title match.
Yeah. Just throwing it out there for me, I am actually going to draft it in the order of the card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know whether that wants to make you, if you want to change your draft strategy at all a little bit.
Hey, that doesn't affect me. I know how I'm going to draft.
Because I'm building mine beautifully. You know what I mean? Like mine's a bang and then a build and then a finale. So I mean, it's up to you. And you've got first pick as well because I had first pick last time.
All right. Whew, that's a tough one. With my first pick, I am picking TLC.
Fine.
Let me just write these down.
Well, now I'm screwed.
Benny, you're up.
I feel like you've seen my card, to be honest.
Maybe I have, maybe I haven't.
So, see, this has ruined me. All right. Well, I spoke about it before. My opening match is going to be Ray versus Eddie in a ladder match for Dominic.
All right. Ray and Eddie. Well, seeing as we're not drafting, I'm not drafting by how the card is going to go.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I feel like you've seen my card, mate. This is
my next match is Triple H versus Shawn Michaels.
I don't like you anymore.
From 2002.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board now, Dylan. All right, well, the next match on the card then for me will be Cena versus Styles in 2016.
Good pick. Good pick. Where does that leave me?
You've ruined me. I mean,
can't take that one. I can't take that one. Okay. I'm going to go with Undertaker versus Austin.
Yeah. Oh, that was on my...
From 1998.
All right. What am I going to do here? This is tough. All right, I'm going Brett versus Owen in 94 in the cage.
Brett Owen.
I'm no longer drafting in order now. You've ruined me.
So I have my tag team title match already. What can I go with? Oh, okay. I'm going to take another world title match. I'm going to take Rock v. Brock.
2002?
2002, Rock v. Brock.
Yeah, fair. See.
So you have left, Benny, a tag team match and a women's match.
Yeah, and that's where you screwed me. So what I'm going to do is...
For me, I'll just throw it out there. I don't know if you're thinking it, but I think this tag team is a layup.
Really?
A layup. If
you stole my tag match.
Well, there is another one which was my close second, and
wow. I'm going to go Charlotte versus Sasha in 2016.
Okay.
That's my. I'm looking through these now, and I'm struggling.
Well, it's time for me to pick my women's match then, and I am picking Charlotte versus Trish from 2019.
Yeah, right.
Get some satisfaction.
Is that when she got like clapped out of the building and stuff like that? Like that was her last match?
Yeah,
it makes sense. Get a bit of satisfaction up here, I suppose. All right. I'm going to go my boys, the New Day versus the Usos, SummerSlam 2017.
Wow. Okay. You did not pick the one I thought you were going to pick.
No, you know what I was going to go the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks.
That was my pick. How could you not have a card with Hogan, Savage, and Andre the Giant on it?
Because our listeners, our crowd, they're not going to know. They're not going to remember that stuff. They're going to remember the current stuff. They're going to remember how good New Day versus the Usos. That rivalry was amazing. It was part of that whole. We talked about it in Money in the Bank preview and stuff like that. That was during that time, and that was an amazing match.
that was my next pick after the Mega Powers one, the New Day Usos. Or DX and the McMahons I had as well.
Yeah, that was another one. I just wanted to throw it in there as well. I was going to throw a quick little thing in there. So if I built my card like I wanted to, I was also going to throw in Macho Man Miss Elizabeth's wedding in there just before the double main event. That was going to be my little
in
little
between matches, little popcorn section.
Yeah, just to keep the crowd happy.
We have Benny. You have Ray versus Eddie, ladder match for the custody of Dominic. We have Cena versus Styles from 2016. We have Brett versus Owen Hart inside a steel cage. Charlotte and Sasha for the Women's Championship, and New Day versus the Usos. I have TLC, Triple H versus HBK, Austin versus Undertaker, Rock v Brock, and Charlotte versus Trish. Happy with the draft, Benny?
Yeah. Look, I am now that you've ruined me, but whatever. I should have taken the first pick and just shut my mouth.
I was going to flip a coin, but you gave it to him.
When we put it up on the socials, though, let's put it up in the order that we'll talk later. Put it up like it's a match card.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now you've got to decide where your matches are going to go.
100%. I'm still throwing in Macho versus Elizabeth's wedding.
You can have it. I'll give you that.
All right, thanks, mate.
I'll give you that.
You can throw a random promo in there or something like that if you want, but it's got to be shit because mine's better.
Sounds good. As I mentioned, we'll post them both to the socials and tell us who has the best card and which matches you think got snubbed. As for us, that's another episode of the 3 Count Podcast. We'll be back next week to wrap up SummerSlam, a little bit of NXT TakeOver, and the Raw after SummerSlam. Make sure you hit us up on the socials with any suggestions or comments at 3 Count Pod on Twitter and Facebook, at 3 Count Podcast on Instagram, or email us 3countpod@outlook.com. Benny, once again, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dill. Pleasure as always.
And thanks to all you peeps for listening. Enjoy SummerSlam Sunday.
Peace.